Reggie actually did ask a question. Reggie Matthews, and he's here. So what about we go for that?
Cool.
So Reggie Matthew on YouTube asked, I've got 3 days in Christchurch, 4 days in Auckland, and 5 days in Queenstown. I need a family itinerary. Plus, I have a rental cars for all 3 cities. All right, so basically you want things to do with kids. And I think he has 3 kids, if I'm correct. I can't remember. We received some message on email or something. Basically, because you're going to be based in those cities, we are going to be trying to find you just activities and things to do with kids in those 3 cities, which is Christchurch, Auckland, and Queenstown. Now, we kind of gave ourselves a few rules when selecting those things. Is that we don't want you to drive all the time, since your hotel or your accommodation is going to be in those cities. We don't want you to do back and forth all the time, because the kids are going to hate driving so much all the time. So I mean, I remember being a kid, I hated
and also for the parents as well, it's like quite exhausting.
Yeah,
as well.
You want to do things. You don't want to be commuting, right? You're on a holiday, you're not on commute day.
Yeah.
I'm going to coin that joke right here.
That was not good.
All right, so that's the first thing. So basically, in each of the areas that you have mentioned, we are trying to just pick one kind of road trip, and then the rest is fun things to do with kids around those areas. All right, so let's get started with Christchurch.
Yeah.
Where would be your road trip if you have to pick one road trip from Christchurch?
Okay, well that's a pretty easy one, because less than 2 hours drive away is Akaroa, otherwise known as the Banks Peninsula. It's this awesome sort of, well, obviously peninsula that comes sort of away from Christchurch. It was created by a massive volcano, but now it's like a wildlife hub where you can find some of the world's smallest dolphins there, smallest species of penguins, there's seals. So it's really awesome for wildlife activities, and there's lots of different boat tours you can do. You can do kayaking, you can even go dolphin swimming as well. So all those sort of wildlife activities are usually, kids are pretty impressed with it, and we also did all those wildlife activities in Akaroa.
You can see them on this channel. Actually, you can check you just type Akaroa in the search bar of our channel, and you'll find all of them. It's an amazing place.
Absolutely. On top of that, it's also known as the Frenchest town in New Zealand. So there's a few, it's a quirky looking town. It has a few really good places to eat and just, good photo opportunities.
Yeah, and that will allow you to only have it's not going to be too long of a road trip, which is quite good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, moving on. The next things you can do in Christchurch, activity number 2, will be to go to the Botanic Garden. So the Botanic Garden is huge. Actually, Christchurch is called the Garden City, so it kind of tells itself, sells itself. But the Botanic Garden, right in the center of Christchurch, is really big. There is plenty of really nice walk. Also, because that's going to be your first, city arriving, maybe you want a quieter day. You want to, deal with the jet lag. So maybe that's the thing you can do first.
Yeah.
And you go to the Botanic Garden. You can relax there. There's a ton of different plants, but for the kids, there's a lot of water features which are actually interactive, which is really cool. So, I mean, you can see videos of me playing with those things.
Because Robin's a big kid.
Okay. So you kind of pull a lever, and then it sprays some water to something, and that makes something turn, and then it drip a bucket onto something that makes something else turn. It's just kind of fun to play around with. So it's kind of a nice relaxing day. And nearby there is the Canterbury Museum as well, which is it free?
It's free.
Yeah, it's free entry. So nearby there is a Canterbury Museum. So if you're interested in that, if you think that the kids are ready to learn something, take them to the museum. It's free. If you don't think that they're going to want to learn anything, well, don't take them to the museum. And if you take them to the museum and you realize that they don't want to learn anything, it was free anyway, so you haven't wasted your money. So all in all, it all works well. So I say go to the Botanic Garden. That's the number 2.
Okay, and a final thing we'll put on the list to do in Christchurch with kids is the Antarctic Centre. This is located kind of near the Christchurch airport, and it's really interesting. Christchurch is the centre of where many countries actually depart to go and do their sort of missions in Antarctica. Missions? Would you say missions? Maybe they don't do missions over there, but they do their research and whatnot. So the Antarctic Centre has loads of really crazy attractions. There's a room which is like a minus 18 degree room or something like that, where it has like wind. It's like basically simulates an Antarctic storm. That's pretty cool. They also have loads of different exhibitions.
Yeah,
about
you can see the little blue penguins.
Little blue penguins there. What else do they have? The 4D cinema. So you do like a, it's like where it blows air at your feet and shakes you around.
And it's really impressive for kids, right? You can see all those machinery that they use over there, those big things with the machine chains and everything like that. You can see so much. It's quite fantastic. It's really cool.
It's definitely a kids
really
attraction.
Kids love this thing.
And we do have a video on that as well. So if you want to check it out, just search Backpacker Guide Antarctic Centre.
So far, we've got a detailed video on everything we mentioned.
Pretty much.
All right, so that's basically the 3 things we do with kids in Christchurch. Now, you mentioned another city, which is Auckland. So what else will we do? What will we do in Auckland? How do we feel 5 days in Auckland and we have a bunch of kids with us?
Yeah, well, the first thing I would do, just because it's one of my favourite things to do in Auckland, is take a ferry from the centre of Auckland to Rangitoto Island, which is a volcanic island with lava fields, caves, and really easy walks to get up to the summit. It only takes about an hour to walk up to the summit, and kids do it all the time. Like, I've seen school groups going up there, so you don't really need to worry about whether it's family friendly or not, because it is.
Lava fields is always impressive for a kid. Anyway.
Yeah, lava fields is really cool. The caves are really cool, and it's definitely a way to spend a day in Auckland.
Now, we did cheat a little bit for Auckland. We gave you a couple of road trips because you're there for a little bit longer, but one of them is really short, and that's the one I'm talking about right here. It's Goat Island Marine Reserve. Goat like the animal, island like an island, marine like a fish, and reserve like a good wine. So Goat Island Marine Reserve. It's a really cool place where you can go do some snorkeling, which is really awesome. You can see a lot of fish really close to the shore. It's quite safe to swim there as well, which is really good. There is plenty of really awesome tour. There is a clear kayaking, so it's a kayak, right? So you can take you and one of your kids, and then your wife can have her and one of your kids. And the kayak is actually clear, see-through, so you can see under the water. So you kayak like that, you can see all the fish nearby. It's really awesome. And again, we have a video of that on the channel, so check it out. But I think, like, you see a lot of things, but like kind of interacting with fish in there or with wildlife in their own element. People like kids really do love it. So I think you should definitely get there, and it's not too long of a drive.
Yeah. So if you are spending a day in the city centre of Auckland, one of the things to do is, of course, go to the top of the Sky Tower, which you've probably seen photos of it. It is the highest building in the southern hemisphere. And you can take a lift up to almost to the top, where you can get amazing views of the city. They do a few activities up there as well, but it depends, I guess, how old your kids are. Yeah. But they do like the skywalk around the perimeter of the Sky Tower, or the sky jump, which is like a controlled bungee jump to the bottom. Otherwise, you can go check out the cafe. There's a cafe up on the top there, so you can enjoy views while you sip your drinks. And
I think the activities really depends on how your kids behave as well. If they don't behave well, and you just push them from the Sky Tower. Be like, I'm okay, $200. Here you go, control jump, and then you say, you know what, if you don't go to bed right now, we go back to the Sky Tower. All right, and then the road trip from Auckland, we debated it a little bit between Rotorua and Waitomo, but we think you should go to Waitomo. So the Waitomo cave is super famous. You probably saw some pictures of that with all the glowworms and everything. Kids absolutely love that, and you get so many different options. If your kids are up for a challenge, you can go do blackwater rafting, which is really fun. It's kind of tubings and everything. They absolutely love it. Or if your kids are a bit more kind of a mellow kind, you can just take them through the cave, see all the glowworms and everything. And you know what? They absolutely love it as well. And it's a fantastic thing to do.
All right.
And next we're moving on to Queenstown. The first thing, the number one thing to do in Queenstown with kids. No question asked. What is it? We have videos about all those that we mentioned in Auckland as well. Yeah.
Okay, so the number one friendly activity in Queenstown, in our personal opinion, is the luge. So you can get a gondola from the bottom of a hill up to the top of a hill, and there they have a downhill go-karting tracks, or at least I think there's 3 or 2 go-kart.
I think there's 3 tracks. I think there's the training one, the mid-jump and the half.
Yeah, so
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so if your kids are younger, you can actually have the kids on your lap while you're controlling the go-karts. Otherwise, everyone can have their own go-karts, and it's just really fun. like really good competitive sort of family-friendly thing to do, going down the hill, catching some speed, turning some corners, and just having a blast. It's a really awesome thing.
And if you have young kids, you can't take them on your lap. So
that's what I was just saying.
Good,
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, teach me to clean my glasses.
I know.
All right. Next one. One of the things that the kids absolutely love is jet boats, and there's plenty of options for jet boats around Queenstown. Especially, I mean, one of the most famous one is the Shotover Canyon, because just the drive to get there is epic. You're not driving it; it's a bus that drives you there, because it's when you see the drive, you understand.
It's pretty crazy.
And then you have jet boat through a canyon and everything with near misses and stuff like that. Kids dig that so much. I mean, you know, boys, girls, all ages, they love the jet boats in Queenstown. So yeah, but there's also skiing in Queenstown.
Yeah, so if you are there in winter, there are a couple of nearby ski fields, or if you go maybe about an hour further afield, there's 2 more. But yeah, there's really awesome ski fields where they do obviously ski lessons. If your kids don't know how to ski, it's a really cool thing to get them to learn to do. Otherwise, if you are seasoned skiers, it's just another awesome place to ski and just check out what Southern Hemisphere skiing is all about, because obviously if you're from the Northern Hemisphere, it would be summer. So yeah, switch things up a bit.
Cool. And then another really fun thing to do is Arrowtown. So it's a small town nearby Queenstown where, well, it's kind of like a nice, quirky, quaint town. They have Patagonia ice cream, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
Awesome ice creams, but it's a town which is famous for gold panning. There used to be a small gold rush here in New Zealand, and a lot of it was happening around Arrowtown. So you actually can get a gold panning pan, and you can go by the river and try to pan for some gold, which is a fun activity to do with kids. Just make sure you set the expectation right. So you tell them you're not going to find gold, or you sneakily just add a bit of gold.
If you carry gold
around, you know, if you happen to have a little bit of gold here and there in your pocket, and just drop them in. So yeah, but yeah, kids really love it. And if you want to, you know, amp that up, and if you have the budget, go with Nomad's Safari, where they're going to take you with a 4-wheel drive, and you're going to go literally up the river. Like they drive everywhere. It's really awesome. They go through a lot of places, and they actually teach you gold panning alongside in the tour. Guess what? We have a video about that as well.
Yeah.
We got videos of everything. This is crazy.
All right.
Your road trip from Queenstown will be
to go to Milford Sound, which you've probably already heard about. It's probably one of the most famous attractions in New Zealand, famous for its beautiful glacier-carved fjords and just mesmerizing landscape. But from Queenstown, this will be a full day activity. It is a very long drive, so be aware of that. Make sure you take it easy, do plenty of stops. But once you get there, you can there's a huge choice of cruises that you can take to take you through the fjord and get close up to waterfalls. It's just basically what New Zealand's all about, like beautiful landscapes, and it's probably, it's one of the most famous places to go for a reason. So make sure you go check that out as well. All right.
There we go. So that is all I think that we would be doing with kids in New Zealand. But yeah, make sure that the kids are not bored in super long drives. And if you do all that, you should have fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, almost everything we talked about, we have videos right here on this channel. So check them out to see for yourself if you think your kids are gonna love them, because obviously we don't know your kids, you know them better. And head to BackpackerGuide.NZ, where we list all the things to do in every city, and just pick what you think they're gonna like.
Cool.
All right, like and subscribe, and if you have any questions in the comments below. In the meantime, I'm getting back to the live chat.